Every once in a while, a video comes along that really riles up the comment section. A few weeks ago, my expose of 2 champion level players that have never used ball cam was just such a video. As you can see when compared to my recent freestyle bot video, the no ball cam champ one has half the views, but more than double the comments. Yeah, people had a lot to say about these odd players that play the game locked in car cam. And honestly, some of the jabs were actually pretty funny. My favorite being this one from Dominic, who says, "I was so proud about getting to see one, even though I only have one hand since birth. Now I'm frustrated that even players who are much more disabled than me can do it too." But jokes and insults aside, there was also a large portion of the comments that had to point out that these players didn't deserve their champion rank. Even though the video consisted of only about 4 minutes of actual gameplay footage, many plats and diamonds felt compelled to point out that they could crush these so-called champs. Well, in today's video, those cocky commenters are going to get a chance to put their play where their mouth is. For each challenger, I'll show you what they claim to be able to do, and then we'll watch the highlights and lowlights of their game against the car cam champs. We're going to start off with probably our most extreme challenger, a gold player named Bog, who thinks he can win a 1v1 versus the car cam champs. But before we talk about him, let's introduce one of our heroes, or villains, I guess, depending on your thoughts on the matter. Donair is one of the 2 champion players I featured that only use car cam, as you can see here. While it may seem disorienting or limiting to you, this is the way he's always played. Now, after many complaints from the previous video, I will be sticking mostly to director cam for this one. Director cam defaults to ball cam even if the player isn't using it. But to dispel any claims that the car cam champ is perhaps lying, I will periodically show his actual view in the corner of the screen. And just like that, Donair is down by a goal. But who is this mystery challenger, and what made him so confident that he could beat a champ? While watching the original video, Bog had this to say. Maybe they weren't good, or the fact that car cam only reminds me of silvers, but they do not look like champs. Maybe diamond. Then he came back to edit it with a timestamp to point out that a champ should know how to half flip. Then he adds, after a couple minutes, I'm going to say as a gold 2-in-1s player that I could beat the Fennec and maybe the Octane. Well, I decided to give Bog his chance against that Fennec, and so far he is hanging on in a 1-1 game. But that doesn't last long. Donair puts in a goal and takes the lead, only for Bog to quickly answer back after the kickoff. We're now at 2-2. After 4 goals in the first minute, this is still anyone's game. Okay, who am I kidding? Donair is diamond in 1s, and the reality of a 6-rank skill difference quickly starts to become obvious. Yeah, this one got ugly. Now credit to Bog, he didn't give up. But I think there's some kind of poetic justice to have Bog make a comment criticizing half flips and then him end up half flipping the ball into Donair for yet another goal. That's a 15-2 thrashing. Props to Bog for being brave enough to show up and fight for his claims, but this one goes to the car cam champ. For our next showdown, my second no ball cam champ, Hoax, joins Donair to take on a team of 2 cocky diamonds, and he immediately scores off the kickoff. A simple mistake is all it takes, and the diamonds are already down a goal just 2 seconds into the match. Now, in case you didn't watch the first video, it's important to note that Hoax and Donair never played with each other before that recording. In fact, they had never had a chance to party with anyone who had the same camera preferences. Now, since that video, they've played a bit more over the last few weeks, and one thing they have noticed is not having one ball cam player on the team can be detrimental. They told me sometimes they get caught in situations where neither of them has an eye on the ball. But after thousands of hours of playing like this, they're kind of set in their ways, and ready to prove that even without ball cam, they still deserve their rank. Now on the other side, the first challenger we have is obviously Sad, seen here getting his team on the board by popping the ball over Donair to tie the game. Now try to keep up, because obviously Sad's comment is quite a ride. If they are champ, I should be too. They cannot speed flip, they are slow, lack mechanics. I've already beaten, in a best of 5, 2 champs with my D3 friend who no longer plays. I have no replay proof because I reinstalled Windows, so you have to trust my words. If you find me some D2, D3 player who is not lost in game and a little bit speedy, I challenge those 2 champs to prove me wrong. And if they do, I'll never trash talk any of guys you put in video. As requested, I was able to find a worthy teammate for obviously Sad in the comment section. His name was Lightprog, and to keep it fair, they also had a chance to play together a bit before the matchup. Lightprog's own comment said, "Champs, but they play like plats. No half flips, no high aerials, nothing. I'm diamond, and I could beat these guys." And I usually make fun of people who say that. I always find it funny that commenters like to point out specific situational mechanics as proof of how good someone is. And if they don't see those mechanics in a few short minutes of footage, then it must mean that player never does them. As you can see, our own Donair daddy himself had to ask the obvious question, why aren't you champ then? Lightprog didn't recognize who he was talking to at the time and responded, he was not as good as normal champs, just these guys. Well, Lightprog better pull out some high aerials and half flips because they're now down 2-1 with less than a minute to go. Here it is, his moment, a high aerial. Oh, but just like in the comment section, Donair Daddy is there to answer the challenge. One more chance, but he doesn't have enough boost. Perhaps a half flip would have been a better choice. I keep hearing that they're a very important mechanic to know. Alright, the Diamonds did put up a good fight, but this one ends 2-1. And I do want to add, in answer to some comments that claimed the Cardcam champs played like EU Golds, well, these challengers in this game are actually EU Diamonds. And as you can see by the ping, they were just beaten on their own servers. After conquering Europe, we continue our regional journey down under. You know, I just love it when commenters are so cocky, they include additional variables that I wouldn't have even suggested or insisted on myself. Our challenger is Mishway, who says, I'm D2 on Oceania, and I could beat them on US. Alright Mishway, if you insist. I was kind enough at least to make it US West server though. Mishway brought along his own teammate for this one, a Diamond 3 OCE player named Chunk, who also claimed to be better than the Cardcam champs. Well, it looks like OCE is having some trouble in front of their net here. Donaire sets up Hoax, that's his second goal of the game. I'm sure this 170 ping is not fun, but remember, this is what they wanted. I did want to point out my favorite quote when I was listening to the comms of this video, and that was Donaire asking Hoax, is the ball coming for the net? I can't see anything. Thus is the life of a Cardcam champ. There's no dispute with the fact that this is not the ideal way to play, but they've adapted to make it work. Donaire actually recently solo queued into C2. So if you're going to sit there thinking he should be ashamed of his mechanics or camera preferences, well, you can't even get to his rank while using ball cam. If you're better, rank up. It's not hard. Donaire and Hoax have done it, and they can't even see the ball half the time. And remember, more air roll doesn't mean more skill. That's just embarrassing. Well, we have a nice 0-second dribble by Hoax to finish the game. That's a 5-0 shutout victory for the Cardcam champs. I'm not even sure better ping would have made much of a difference here. Thanks for trying, Mishway and Chunk, but OCE has fallen. We now head back to NA for what might be the hardest challenge yet. If people could actually be ready for kickoffs. Seriously, this is the second game this happened. Alright, I guess the Cardcam champs are once again up 1-0 just 2 seconds into the game. Now when it comes to someone challenging another player's ability, if both are at the same rank, usually a game against each other is not going to settle anything. Even if the challenger wins, the reality of Rocket League is players are regularly going to win and lose against opponents that match their rank. Thus, there was no point in bringing in champion challengers for this video. And to tell the truth, most of the callout seemed to be from Diamonds anyways. For this game, I decided to make an exception. This commenter's callout was just too cocky, and like others before him, he was also overconfident enough to give himself a disadvantage. Outcast says, honestly, these are the guys me and my friend clap, with me being a C1 and him being a D2. We would absolutely 10-0 them and laugh at them while spamming what a save. So I decided to give Outcast and his Diamond 2 friend on a Mixer Sharp a chance to absolutely 10-0 these boosted champs. Now starting out already down by 1 doesn't really help prove their case, but it was also strange that they waited almost 2 minutes before scoring their first goal. Honestly, I think that puts a lot of pressure on you if you still plan to score at least 9 more. But those goals, and the promised what a save spams, would sadly never materialize. Hoax set up Donaire for the go-ahead marker with less than 30 seconds left on the clock, and the chat window was oddly absent of any orange-colored entries besides a single, calculated. It was not a crushing defeat, but when you come into a game boasting of a 10-0 result and walk away a 2-1 loser, yeah, that's gotta hurt. Our final challenge is kind of a ridiculous one, but we ran it, so I might as well show you the results. Yes, you are seeing correctly, there's only one player on the opposing team. But no, this isn't some GC who is here to show off. Daddy Chungus is a Diamond 3 player who had this to say. These guys are legitimately terrible. I can probably beat them 1v2. I think you probably know how this is gonna go. Now sometimes people point out that these types of commenters, and the ones we've already gone over, are just trying to be in a video. But the reality is, I never stated there was going to be a challenger video. I just came back to the comment section a week later and started picking out cocky comments. I don't really buy the idea that a person would purposely set themselves up to be smacked around just to be in a video. I really think these guys believed what they claimed. In conclusion, I want everyone to take a lesson from this. When you watch someone play in a video, you are seeing a very small snapshot of the abilities that got them to their rank. And remember, mechanics are only one facet of a Rocket League player's skills. Speaking of which, can we please shut up about half flips? Seriously, every video that has a plat or higher ranked player in it has a comment section full of people asking how they're that rank if they can't half flip. Let me tell you a secret, they're not that important. Yes, they're useful, but they're also situational. If you rotate properly, you don't even need to use them that often. And think of all the commenters in this video that specifically called out half flips. Do you remember them doing any half flips in their games? Besides the gold messing his up, I can't think of any. Does that mean they never do them? Perhaps maybe a half flip just didn't appear in the few minutes of footage that made it in the video. Something to think about. Alright, rant over. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you do hit subscribe for more content. I know the comment section is going to be full of people telling me that challengers in this video are also bad for their rank, but I will be ignoring those comments. My name is Rocket Sledge. See you next time.